Pull up a chair. This is Fluxtaposed episode 221, recording live on the 24th of July, 2018. On the docket today, we will have IRL. We're going to get you caught up. Get you all caught up on what you plan, featuring Mindhunter, Iron Sight. Finally, close out the show with the community grab bag and that sweet awkward finish. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. I think it just got awkward right now. Lucas, take me. Play the intro. It's a secret. Welcome back to Fluxtaposed. It's like I've never done that before. Whew. We got through it. It's a little choppy. We had to hold on for dear life, but we made it through. Welcome to another episode. I am Jason Lacey, and I'm joined by my good friend, and yours truly, your favorite, everyone's favorite, Mr. Lucas Rose.
Hello.
I think he's everyone's best friend out there, really. Everyone loves you, Lucas. How's it feel to be the darling of the podcast?
I mean, when you go most of your life being hated, you know, it's your just desserts is what it is. Feels good. Feels good.
Drink it in, as they say.
I drink your praise and friendship. I drink your friendship. I drink it up.
Or your cherry Coke Zero.
It's a feisty cherry.
Oh, my bad, brah. My bad. Welcome to the podcast. If it's your first time joining us, we're happy to have you here. If you're a repeat offender, well, more the merrier. We're here to have a good time. We're here to talk about some nonsense. As I heard one Mr. James Johnson, a.k.a. Dr. Doom, with 9 O's, say on a recent episode of We the Gamercast, those guys on Fluxtaposed, I mean, they're just going to talk about whatever they want to anyway. They don't talk about anything specific. Just talk about whatever we want.
Fudge muffin.
And that's what we do here. We talk a little bit about everything. Sometimes some games, sometimes some movies. Most of the time, just drivel. And hopefully you find it entertaining along the way. We're happy to have you here, Lucas.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. It's been a while. We've been busy. I haven't talked to you in a while.
It's been about a week, actually.
Everyone should feel delighted because this is our only interaction usually for 7 days, and we invite everyone else to sit in and
it's been
us.
That way lately, hasn't it? It's the summer, man. It's doing stuff with your families.
Boy howdy.
Yeah, but I that's why I enjoy IRL. That's why I never want to stop doing it, because I'm just like, if we didn't do this, you'd never know what was going on with me unless I just come to you and start bitching about something, and then I feel bad. I'm like,
well, I could just come over my lunch break still, and we could just move your furniture in and out of your house.
Yeah, we should make that a monthly, or hell, let's do weekly. Let's make it like the podcast, except for you just come over, and instead of eating lunch, we move furniture on your lunch break. What do you think?
Before we get into, I like that idea.
Okay.
I really like that idea. But before we get into show content, I just want to mention that, we've played that little beginning music comes from Battle Block Theater, and we've played that many times. But I have to say, I greatly enjoy that little part where it has a little fart sound. It's like,
who doesn't enjoy? Wait, somebody on Fluxtaposed enjoys a good fart sound? Impossible.
It makes me happy. Am I a bit choppy? I noticed during We're the Gamer Cat, and if we ran Nintendo last night, my waveforms were a bit high, so I'm gonna turn myself down just a tiny bit.
I thought you sounded and looked okay. and
well,
whatnot,
here's the thing.
But
when you
I'm
go
a professional.
for fellow podcasters out there, when you're like, this is how I'm gonna talk. I'm testing my levels. And then you get on the show and you're like, oh my God, I'm so energized. I'm saying all the things.
It's true. It's true. That's why I make you say check 1 2, because it's hard to say check without any enthusiasm. You really have to check 1 2, check 1 2.
I get it. I get it. I see it.
You see it now. I went to film school to learn that. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
I'd say that was well worth the money then.
Thank you. I didn't pay a dime yet.
Oh, well, okay, perfect. A reminder to everyone, we are still Patreon powered. This is the end of the June promo in July, and the plot has thickened because a new challenger has approached. Has approached, and we have two patrons battling out for that sweet Flux to swag. One of them will win, and one of them are going to walk away empty-handed. You have to find out.
I say we throw them in a pit, and then we toss in a knife into the middle of that pit, and then we see who comes out alive, and then they get the shirt.
Do we duct tape like one of their hands together by the wrists, so they're like they're joined at the wrist, and then they have to like fight with the knife?
We duct tape both of them by the wrist, and then they have to fight each other. But it's also kind of a 3-legged race type deal.
Can we duct tape their mouth to and then like the centipede thing comes out and the
ooh. Too far, Jason. Come on, man. This is a kid's show. How many times do I have to say that?
My bad. Sorry, Isaac. So you can still get in on that. You have a week before those pledges are pulled in the first day of August, my month of birth. So you want to get them in there. You can win some swag. Good time. Just a reminder. And also, talking about reminders, Netflixation, not next week because I will not be here, folks. I'm going on vacation. I am handing the show. Well, Lucas always runs the show. I just do the talking, but Lucas is in control.
My God.
It's going to be just Lucas and whoever he brings aboard, this wild bag of tricks. I hope I'm not busy. I'm going to be up north, northern Michigan, where we always go around this time of year. And we don't have like Wi-Fi. I mean, I get a cell signal, but I'm almost hoping I'm not busy on Tuesday because I would like to watch. I think it'd be fun to watch my own show as the spectator. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I think so. I mean, considering how it went last time,
if I was on this show, this wouldn't be happening now.
God, how long is this show going to be? They're still talking about IRL, and it's been 3 hours. What the hell? This is why I don't leave.
They've been in pre-show for an hour and a half. Oh wait, Lucas just didn't switch over the slide. Oh.
Jessica, get out the laptop. I have to get in on this. They're doing terrible. It's going all down.
I need to tether the phones. Can I tether multiple phones at once?
How many G's? 4 G's? Let's do this.
So no Netflixation next week. Will be pushed back a week. I know, surprise we're doing, but it gives you an extra week to watch The Voices on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds, that rascally guy. You'll like it. We'll talk about it. It'll be a fun time. Right?
What if it's a prequel to Deadpool? See what I'm saying?
My God.
Yeah. It's when that's when he first... Wait, I guess Deadpool 1 was... I mean, it's sort of like half a prequel because you see it's an origin. I guess it doesn't really work that way. Oh, strong sad.
So that's what you got to look forward to. And now let's begin the show as we like to always begin the show with a little IRL talk.
IRL.
Should we have an IRL bumper? What do you think? Do you think we need an IRL bumper? I don't know.
Twitter poll. Does Fluxtaposed need an IRL bumper?
Sound off. Let us know. So I had my little brother got married last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had a crazy time. I had to skip out on Nintendo Shack. We went back home Thursday night. We had Friday, we had the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner. And then I went with my dad. So it was a lot of moving parts back and forth because we had my mom watch Aiden, and then we had to pick him up and drive him over here and go over there. And then I got some cool time afterwards because my dad got all the beer for the wedding. He just had canned beer. Got it all from this one bar that he knows the proprietor really well, so they sold him everything at cost. So I went with him, and it's actually one of my middle brother's friends because he goes there all the time. We went there and to pick it up, but we went. Of course, we're like, well, since we're here, it's in Belding. You'll know where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
Our listeners and viewers will not, but they have a really good beer selection because they're big, craft beer enthusiasts. So they always have really for the area an excellent beer selection. So I went there and we had a few beers. Have you seen? I believe it's New Belgium has it. It's the oh gosh, the Hemperor.
No.
420, the Hemperor. That beer is smelly. It is very smelly beer.
Would you say it's dank?
It's very dank. I don't mind it. I thought it was good, but I had a sample of that, and I had me some CEO Stout on draft.
Oh,
and
yes.
I had me a little Sticky Icky, which was an IPA.
I'm detecting a theme here.
I can't remember who makes that, but they're all quite good. It was cool just to hang out with my dad, and then I was talking to him, and he's watched Battle of the Beer before, but I still don't remember. I haven't checked my Untapped if I have or not, but we were talking, and he's like, have you had Zombie Dust? And I was like, I still don't know if I've had Zombie Dust or not. I know I recognize the bottle art.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. That's from looking it up. So I need to check my Untapped if I have not. But either way, he gave me a bottle at the reception. So I have a bottle of Zombie Dust in my fridge. So
wow.
I'm probably going to do a solo flight on that.
Nice. You have to. It's required.
So I didn't get out, apparently I missed out on the other groomsmen and however late they were out drinking the night before the wedding. But then I say missed out because I really would want to do that.
I was just going to say missed out.
So I spent the whole the day before the wedding. I got to the hotel. They were all staying at a hotel in Greenville, and I went and I hung out with them, beforehand. But I tell you what, my brother's 26, I believe, be 27 in August, and so his groomsmen he graduated with, so they're the same age. And they about 10 o'clock they started going hard, and they went until all night. So I think his one groomsman was 5 beers deep before we even got to before the ceremony. Not to mention the one guy had a flask, so they were doing pulls off that. I mean, these guys were just drinking. I was just like, oh my God. Needless to say, kind of a shit show for a lot of the day. And then
but isn't it nice because you're not my problem, really?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't my problem. And then remember on the party bus, there was all this nonsense going on. I'm just sitting here with my green zebra. I'm just like,
guys, I'm trying to play Switch.
I was like the Kermit the Frog meme, and it's just sipping my beer, just
you guys are gonna feel like garbage tomorrow, but that's none of my business.
That's none of my business, So it was, the wedding went great. It was good to see. But here's the moral of the story. I've had I wouldn't say I've had a strict regimen, but I ate fairly well for a while now. I hit my goal.
Momentum when you do that.
I was out. Yeah, got to my 170 goal. Now I've going to try to keep pushing further, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna, just. It was time to cheat. It was the wedding and everything. I had 5 or 6. I had 6 beers during the wedding. Throughout that day. But I was throughout the night before the rehearsal dinner, I ate still pretty calmly. But the day of the wedding, I was it's out the window. Ate. They had all this food. Then the next day, we had to help tear down the reception site.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was in Sheridan at the community center.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because they closed the next day.
We had to have everything cleaned out, and so we got home back to my mom's house at 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
So we were probably actually in bed by 12:30, and Aiden's like, "Well, 6 o'clock, time to wake up. Hope you're ready, Mom." And so the whole day I was just like, me, I can't nap. So then I was like, we had to travel and got back home, had some Culver's for dinner. I was like, "Yep, give me that double deluxe,
double butter burger." Yes,
and
sir. Did you partake in the cheese or the what are they not the custard? It's the cheese that they deep fry.
No,
what are they? I can't remember what they're called.
Did not have that.
Curds, cheese curds.
Got home exhausted. I'm going to bed early. Once I was winding down in bed, I just I'm gonna grind just a couple little things in Octopath, and I was sitting there. I was like, so tired. I'm laying here in bed, and then that moment comes where it's You have that slight pressure, but then you're like, you know what? I've already had that movement today. Oh no, I'll be good until tomorrow. And then you're laying there, exactly. You're laying there, and you feel that pressure again. And you're like, let me just relieve. Let's slip the top off. Leave a little bit of that pressure, and you do.
You take the bunghole out so it can breathe.
Yeah. It's like you just let that you squeeze the balloon a little bit and just let that little air out, and then you're like. Then you can tell you get that sample and you're like, nope.
There's liquid in there.
We've got unfinished business. And then I had my my Dumb and Dumber moment, so to speak, and that was my body.
I have that on. I need that sound effect right now.
And that was my body telling me that, what have you done? We must remove all the toxins right now. So, yeah, we're back on the path to recovery this week. We're reset. We've come full circle. And,
of course, it's for safety. Oh, that's right. I can't play things. Damn it. I get all excited. Then I remember I can't play things through the computer because my sound is not going through there anymore. I was going to say, though, you know you're getting old and you're married when you're not looking forward to hookups at a wedding. You're looking forward to all the food that you can eat. You're just like...
Well, yeah, for sure. We were like talking in the reception or on the way home. I was like, well, you better not think you're going to get some tonight. I'm going to bed.
Okay. I'm going to feel... Well, clearly, you didn't go to bed. You went to the toilet.
Well, that was Sunday night. That's when we finally got home.
Oh, you were on a day delay, huh?
Yeah. I think I was all backed up. My body didn't know what to do.
All backed up. Don't know what to do.
Just for my own benefit, are you still hunting for the clip? Because
know I am. Come on, I've been doing it this whole time.
I still have monitor mode in my, and it's very distracting.
This was your... That was your stomach. You're lucky you were at home, unlike him. Here we go.
Wait for it. Oh, God. It's worse when you can just hear it.
There was your balloon noise. That's how you started. That's how he ends.
This was good podcasting.
That's good stuff. This is
good podcasting.
It sounds like they dumped a can of chili into a bowl of water or something.
Oh my God.
Well, dang, man.
And then, side note, one day last week, I think this actually happened before the show last week, but I didn't mention it. I got really ambitious. Like, I'm going to clean up the cable management on my desk because my desk was just a mess. You can imagine with an Elgato, a Switch, at one point I had the Xbox, and then I have a splitter so I can have 3 HDMI devices going to that. My desktop was a mess of cables. I was like, this is terrible. And the bottom was just cables everywhere. So
it gets distracting after a while.
Yeah. I disconnected everything. I rewired fed everything, and I got these nice things off Amazon. They're like tubing almost, but they're cloth. They're made out of fabric, and they have a zipper, so you can wrap stuff around it and zip them.
Yeah.
So those are kind of nice. I have a few of those, and I still had some Velcro like zip ties. So it's still like a mess, but it's like 50 times better. But at least my desk is clean now, and I put my Elgato underneath the desk. But I'm amazed like my Switch like works well because I have the monitor, an HDMI switcher going into the monitor. And in that switcher, I have my PC and the Switch. So it goes from the Switch it goes from the monitor into the Elgato, from the Elgato into an HDMI audio extractor, and then from that into the Switch. So it goes from the Switch to an extractor to the Elgato into that. So my signal's getting split like 3 times. I can't imagine that. Like, man, you feel like you'd have some drop off, but it still works great in my streams and when I'm playing stuff. So
that's nuts.
I know, it's weird. This is what we do for you people. I hope you're entertained. This is what I do. This is what I sacrifice for all of you.
Oh, speaking of sacrifice.
But that's enough about me. I'm really interested to hear what happened to you today.
Yes.
I got just a teaser.
Oh, it's not just today. It's been a on and off week-long process. So let's see if I can break this down. Just to continue my awesome luck from last week. So it's come time for us to renew our license plate tabs. And here in Michigan, we have the Secretary of State, not the Department of Motor Vehicles, even though I want to always call it the DMV, even though we've never had a DMV in my life. Never been to a DMV. It's SOS, Secretary of State. And it's dreadful. It's as dreadful as anywhere else. Now, they've made strides, haven't they, Jason, in that they let you renew online, they let you renew by mail, they let you go to a kiosk and renew your license plate tabs there.
Well, man, I don't remember the last time, like the past, I've been able to renew by mail the past quite a few times because I just have, but that's like one thing we did the day Jess went to labor. We went to the Secretary of State and we had used one of the self-serve kiosks for her Jeep at the time. So that was my last in office, I guess, experience. Otherwise, we've renewed by mail each time.
Okay. Well, you're one of the lucky ones then, because I should have done that probably, but I usually
procrastinate to the last minute.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a choice.
That's true. Well, okay. So we have 3 kiosks nearby because that's usually what I do. And that's partially why I don't do the mail-in thing, is because I'm like, well, I've got 3 different kiosks. Certainly I should be able to find one that would work. So I tried the first one that I always go to. It's frozen. Okay. I shrug my shoulders and I go to the next one down, which is inside of a Meijer. Now that one, yeah, it's Meijer on Kalamazoo, if that helps you at all. And so I go in there, and that one allowed me to get through the entire process until it was time to pay, and then it said, "Nah, I'm just not gonna work." So I said, "Okay." I tried it one more time because obviously you have to try it one more time, right? Surely it was a fluke the first time, and it's going to work magically the second time I try. Why wouldn't
That's how my life works.
So I try again. Doesn't work. All right, I'm going home. So I go home. We're already late by this point. We're paying the $10 fee for
late renewal.
Expiring. So the next day, there's the third one that I haven't really been to in Center Point Mall. It's a little bit further away. But I say, all right, I'll go to that one and I'll try that one. So I go there, and I think it was on last Friday or maybe Saturday. So I go there, and same thing. Get there, go through the whole thing. Doesn't let me pay for it. Cool. So I go home. At this point, I'm feeling crazy because I'm just like, are you serious? What? How are 3 of these not working? What the hell is going on? So I go home, and I'm like, all right, let's just see what's going on. Let's see if I can find something on Facebook. I don't know why I thought that. I just thought, okay, maybe some other people are having this problem. So I'm looking around, and some people have mentioned that there's other ones that have been down, et cetera, et cetera. Go on Secretary of State's Facebook, and they say,
random thought, who do you think maintains those? Like like the one in Meijer, do they? Well, like some Meijer employee doesn't reset that, so they have to call like a state employee, and you can't imagine that's like ever going to happen quickly.
Yeah, they have like one for every they've probably split Michigan into like 3 or 4 regions, and there's like one per region that works out of 100-mile radius or some ungodly
There's one guy
thing.
like our friend Jared that has to cover this huge. Yeah. Speaking of Jared, he's moved back to Grand Rapids.
Yeah, I heard he was coming back. I told him I would show him around, show him all the cool spots.
So he's gonna come to your basement?
Yeah, because it's the coolest spot. This is my sex dungeon. Here's where you'll be locked up.
That's Mike's house.
Oh, Mike. Yeah, that's true. Mike's house actually is a sex dungeon, and that we're not making that up. It's right next to the Battle of the Beer set. It's like he presses a switch and the wall flips over, and there's chains and such. And so, yeah, I don't know who maintains that, but I had seen that somebody else had said these kiosks aren't working. And the person on the Facebook for Secretary of State said, okay, well, we'll call the manager of the kiosks, the great manager. We'll call them down and have them bestow their godly ways upon them and fix them. So that was on Sunday, I believe. Now, Saturday evening, I was looking at because it had also mentioned that there was going to be maintenance on the online portion. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that. So Sunday, after the maintenance, I tried it, and it wasn't. And the online thing I tried to do, like I tried to renew by online, wherein they'll mail you your tabs after you do it online.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And I tried it on my phone twice, and it failed to go through. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's because I tried it on my phone, and it's Secretary of State, so what are you going to do? So I switched to the computer. I tried again. Doesn't go through 2 times. Later that night, I happened to look at our bank account for whatever reason. I have 4 pending charges from Secretary of State's office for the full price of our tabs, which is $158. Yep.
Oh, so you just got drilled for like $600?
Basically, yep. And so I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? What the hell is going on? So
what was that what was that DNS error?
Exactly.
I don't know. That was bad. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's all good. Shh, it'll be okay. So now I'm thinking, all right, I need to call Chase because I have no clue how that's even possible. If it failed, how did it go through? That makes no sense. So now I'm left with 2 questions. What the hell? How am I going to get my money back? And 2, are they going to send me tabs or no? Because for all intents and purposes, it looks like it went through. Like it was a just fine, normal transaction. So I call Chase and I say, hey, this happened. I'm going to get in contact with them on Monday, but I have duplicate charges. What can I do about that? And so I talked to someone and they're like, okay, well, we can stop the 3 charges from happening. Nice. And then the 4th one, if it goes through or doesn't go through, you'll have to talk to them for now. Anyway.
That's nice, at least.
Yeah. Well, it would have been nice if that's actually what happened. They went through anyway. I don't know if they're going to... I don't know how that's going to work because there's more to this story. So after that happened, I called them, did all that, called Chase and did all that. And then I got in contact with Secretary of State's today, actually. And I said... I explained what happened, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we can see that we do have 4 payments from you on this day, and I'm gonna go ahead and get you over to the refund center, and they'll be able to send you out a refund." I said, "Okay, thank you." So I switch over, and I'm thinking in my head, he's going to explain the situation to this other person. That's usually what happens. Like if I call Comcast and they, they'll be like, "Hey, I got so and so on the phone. This is what's happening." They didn't. Yeah. So I'm just like, "Okay, hi, this is what's happening again," and it's just some old lady who sounds like she doesn't want to be there. She's like, "All right, well, I see them," and she's searching for them, and it takes like 2 minutes and she's completely silent this entire time, and I'm just like, are we just sitting on the phone or are you actually doing something? So she finds them and she says, "Oh yep, I can see they're right here. We'll go ahead and get you a refund for that." And I'm like, "Oh, is there more? Okay, yeah, that's great." But I was like, "Well, should I expect tabs in the mail or not? Because if the money went through..." She's like, yeah, you can expect 1 tab, if not 4 tabs, possibly. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't want 4 tabs. I don't want you to send me 4 tabs.
No, and then I'm like, if I'm getting the tabs, I'm thinking to myself, if they are coming to me, does that mean I'm getting them for free? Like, how is this working out? So I'm like, okay, well, are you going to send something in the mail or like email me a confirmation about the refund? No, we don't do that. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you'll send this actual refund to me.
And then what if I don't get the refund, but you think I do? How do I make a claim that if I don't actually get it?
Yeah, exactly. So... And then I said,
"Sir, if I send you the refund, I'm going to send you the refund. I'm not going to not send you the refund, sir."
That's my only purpose for being here. I am in the refund center. That's what I do. God, sir. So I say, "Okay, well, how long does that take?" "Well, typically it takes 4 to 6 weeks."
Oh my God.
But in your case, I'm going to try to push this through, and hopefully you'll have it by next week.
Oh my god.
So you can take my money almost instantaneously, but you can't refund me? What the hell? That's the problem with this society today. It's all about take, never give. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you
Oh
do.
my gosh.
So I say, okay. Well, Danette was like, well, are you sure that they're going to send them? And I'm like, well, the lady from the refund center who can't email me or send me mail says that they're going to magically send me tabs. She's like, you should probably call. And I was like, I don't want to call. It took me like 10 minutes just to get where I was to talk to a human. She's like, no, you should probably call. I'm like, fine. So I call. And I explain to another person about what just happened. I'm like, I just went through this. Now I just need to know, am I actually going to get tabs sent to me or not? Well, it shows in our system that you won't be sent any tabs. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's what I want.
That's cool.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go to the Secretary of State's like I was already planning on doing. Okay, have a nice day. Cool, thanks. So I go back today to the Rogers Plaza actual Secretary of State's office. They have the kiosk there, but they also have the office. I get in line online so that I don't have to wait there. I can just...
That's a nice feature.
Yeah, so funny enough, for about 30 minutes, my wait time was 40 minutes long. So at the 0 hour, it was like, hey, you've got 40-minute wait. And then 30 minutes go by, and I'm like, I should probably check how much time I have left. You still have 40 minutes. Oh, that's not how time works, but okay. So I go there, and it says like online, it's like, well, if you do it in person at Secretary of State, you need your insurance. So I'm digging the insurance out of wherever in the car, and I go there, and I'm like, all right, I'm all ready to get in line. I downloaded some movies on Netflix so that I can sit there and watch them and ignore everyone. And I get there, and I walk up, and I look over, and I'm like, I wonder if that kiosk actually works. So I look over, the fucking kiosk was working. I just did it at the kiosk. All that build up just to have it work.
Oh my god.
Took me 2 minutes. That's all I wanted, Jason. Like I said.
Oh my gosh.
4 hours. I spent 4 hours of my life to basically spend 5 minutes doing the thing that I wanted to do in the end. It was ridiculous. How do you have 3 pieces of machinery that all do the same thing and none of them work within 5 miles of one another?
That was our experience, like what you just said, our last thing. Is that day we went there because we had gone, and it was like, I don't know if most of the time I'm like this. I'm like, well, you're supposed to have them by your birthday, but I mean, really, they're not going to know if my birthday's at this beginning of the month or the end. So really, I have until the end of the month.
Yeah, as long as I don't get pulled over.
And we finally were like, okay, we got to go. And we walk in, and you take the ticket, and it's like, your wait's like 40 minutes. I look over, and there's a kiosk right there. I'm like, oh, okay. Done, out. See ya.
Yeah. Well, you would think they'd want them to work because that decreases their workload inside the actual Secretary of State. So
yeah,
like you said, who the hell is fixing these things because they're clearly not on site?
Well, it's like all service things now. Like you can go to you can use the app, the Meyer app, and you can like scan your groceries as you like get them,
put them in
and
your
then
cart?
you just and then you have to go to a special checkout and then scan that, and it inputs everything. I'm assuming I haven't never tried it, and then inputs everything, and you just pay.
Wow. That's awesome.
Target does home delivery now with like through Shipt. So it's like, we're all these ways of having you, the consumer, do more work, so they don't have to pay someone else to do it. We're eliminating jobs. Although the Secretary of State was always like notoriously understaffed anyway.
They posted a thing on their Facebook about how they're hiring, and everyone responded by bitching at them. Well, you better hire so many people because every time I go in, there's 12 desks and there's only 4 people working, and there's 3 hours a 3 hour wait. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I would think I'd have to go on soon because I feel like I haven't had to get my picture taken in a while.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I have to next.
Is it like every 4 years? Isn't that when you have to get your driver's license picture updated?
I think it's 4 or 8. I don't remember.
I was working at Transcore the last time I did do that, and I was at Integrity for 2 years, and I've been here for 3. So it's been 5 years since at least 5 years since I've done it.
So then it's more than 4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're breaking the law. Let's see. Mine expires in 2019, and it was issued in 2015. But I think they used my picture from my last one, so it must be.
I think you can renew it like at least once without going in. So I bet you.
I need
maybe it's 8 or more.
I need a new. I probably shouldn't show that. I was gonna show you my picture, but then I was like, that's got like my personal information on it. Oops, here's my social security card.
Don't put that on the internet. You won't want to do that.
Oh gosh.
Needless
to say, it looks pretty much like me from 8 years ago or something. Back when I had to shave all the time for work. Had a baby face. Big old
Lucas,
baby. Yes.
It's time for us to do a public service for the people.
Okay. Oh, okay. If I have to.
That coffee's really cold. Because I feel like this is one of the things we've lived with for a while now, and it's a topic that gets brought up quite a bit presently. So I thought we could make a fun conversation out of it. FOMO, fear of missing out. How do you beat it? How do you live with FOMO? Because historically, we are those that miss out. Up until the Switch,
ones that miss out.
Up until the Switch, we weren't playing any new games.
That's true.
Really, we're talking specifically when it comes to gaming. We're not talking. I mean, I would have said at one time movies, but then Lucas got a movie pass, and he's just like, "Well, I'm just gonna go see everything."
That's true. I still miss out though.
That's how you do FOMO. There, you buy a movie pass. But we're talking specifically when it comes to gaming, because I feel like it's a thing that a lot of people get swept up in, and I think it's a part of it. It's like that's the factor that get people to buy games because they want to be involved in that conversation and the experience of everyone playing something at the same time.
Yeah,
close to release, but that's not always the point. It's not always a possibility. And if you're not doing that, it can feel kind of crappy because you're like, oh, everyone's doing this, and I'm just gonna be here playing Breath of the Wild still.
Yeah, well, especially a good example for me from me anyways is when I finally got the Nintendo Switch, and then I hopped on the PSVG Discord channel and was talking about
that's
Nintendo.
A bad place to go.
Well, yeah, because they're usually on the latest and greatest, and so I'm talking about a year-old game, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we're really glad we're pumped that you're checking it out, and we're glad you're having a fun time." And then I start talking more and more about it as I'm going along, and the drop off for excitement for another one in the Brotherhood.
Everyone was going to play Mario. Everyone was going to play Zelda along with you. That never happened.
Yeah.
We've played Mario Kart once.
Yeah. And now we're just like, no, we got to buy a new game. We're going to buy Overcooked 2, and we're going to do that. And then we'll do it once and then never again because everyone's schedule.
Go ahead. That's true. Like social media and communities like this, where they're great things to be a part of, but they can extrapolate that and expand upon that problem. And it stinks to be on the outside looking in. You don't want to be the guy that's sitting there missing out, but it's not always an option. Sometimes that's just how it is. You're not going to be in a position or have the time or the money or a lot of various reasons, but you might just not be able to buy every single game that comes out. And I don't think it's not even possible, especially on the Switch, because my God, there's a new game coming out constantly. Not always good games, but I mean, there's just games all the time.
Yeah, and there's usually a big first party one that's dropping or soon, and so you're like, oh, I gotta get Octopath Traveler, but I also want to get Smash Brothers, but I also want to get whatever remake they did, Captain Toad's Treasure Chest again. I'm gonna buy that again.
Captain Toad's Treasure Chest,
whatever the hell it's called. Treasure Tracker.
Tom server in the chat. Yep, I got my PS4 to play Battlefield 1 with my buddies, and they were on to the next game in a few weeks.
Yes.
I experienced that so many times in the PC gaming world. My friends were like, oh, you got to get this game. And they've been playing it for a while. And finally you break down and you're like, okay, I get it. And then as soon as you get it, then they're like, oh, we don't play that anymore.
That was like, yeah, that definitely was happening back when we played with kind of when we started with the ET clan, so to speak.
Those guys have always been like that through every game. That's why I kind of fell out of that group, because I just couldn't, I just can't keep up with that. Or they would always gravitate to some same thing.
The new thing that was coming out, and
I am downplaying the fact that Servo got he got a PS4 specifically, not just the game. He bought the console just to play it.
Play Battlefield 1.
Yeah, and then they deserted him. So that's even a bigger kick in the nuts.
That really does suck. Especially, I mean, if you're not really planning on using your PS4 for any other gaming stuff, and you were just like, I'm just doing this because I liked shooters and I want to play this one, and this is the platform all my friends are on, then you're just kind of inducted by association, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I think we've kind of diagnosed what it is, and at least why it's applicable for us. But like, how do you? I'm just gonna come out and say, like, the first step to really dealing with it is you really have to adopt the IDGAF mentality. I don't give a fuck.
But what if you do give a fuck though? Because I guess what I'm saying is, what's the line between FOMO and I just have enough money that I can just buy whatever I want, or I guess,
Well,
what I mean?
Those are two different things. I think ultimately you have to, like.
I guess if you have FOMO, you automatically, if you're like, I think I might have FOMO, then you probably aren't in the league of I can just buy whatever I want because I make so much money. That's a good point.
Right. I think FOMO. I think there's two ways to look at it. There's FOMO, where people will buy a game because they don't want to miss out on the conversation. Mm-hmm. And then there's FOMO for someone that isn't able to get a game because of someone, time commitments, family commitments, money, There's two different degrees here. And I think I think to help your sanity, to help yourself, I mean, if it's a point where getting the game's not an option for you, like either for a personal commitment or other outside factors, you really have to eventually you have to learn to let things go a little bit. And you know what? You have to learn that, this too shall pass. Because guess what? Like, I felt that way a little bit with Mario Aces. Because I wasn't big on the game, but then there was part of me that some people were talking about it. And I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe that would be,
it might be more fun if I play with other people.
Yeah. And then you just give it a little more time, let that simmer. And then all of a sudden, those people are like, oh, there's the new shiny, and they move on to the next game, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And
how many people are talking about Labo right now? Nobody. And everyone was like, that's such a great idea.
3 people in the Make Us Better Discord because they want us to buy the bike thingies to do drunk Mario Kart, which I'm not. I know it's $15, but that's $15 I'd rather spend
on cardboard that you have to store after that and then never use again.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't we just play Mario Kart normally and then show me that we can do that, and then maybe we can do Labo.
Well, they got that new content out. We got to use the Master Cycle. It's gonna bring everyone back. Bring it all back.
Yeah, not from what I've seen.
Servo also adds Twitch streams help because it gives you, a way to experience the game that you'd be missing out on.
That's true. And it also gives you, for those games that don't release with a demo or anything, because my strategy, like you said, you just have to not give a fuck. But at the same time, I try now as an adult, at least, to really think about why I want to buy a game, especially a full price purchase, because I have not probably bought a full priced game since Grand Theft Auto 5 released on the 360 was the last time before getting the Switch.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like,
that's like 4 or 5 years, or 3 years, 4 years.
Well, that's the best part about PC gaming, is you're able to get everything on steals and deals or Humble Bundle. There's just so many outlets that you can, And now, I saw a headline. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it as applied in North America yet, but Eurogamer reported that through an email that was sent out is that Amazon is now discontinuing their discount on pre-order games.
Wow.
Which we had a feeling was coming because Best Buy got rid of the Gamers Club.
So now there's like, we don't need to compete, really.
Exactly. So now we just kind of figured it would be a matter of time before, because first, they used to do it on all new games purchased with the pre-orders or purchased it within the first 2 weeks of release. Then they got rid of that. It was pre-orders only. So we kind of knew the writing was on the wall. It was going to be a matter of time. So now there's like that incentive is gone. So there's not a really way to, like, especially on Nintendo, you can't save. It's hard to save money on games. I mean, you can save with the digital program with the gold coins, and maybe there's some sales sometimes. For the most part, you're not saving much for, especially first party. You're rarely saving much money on these games.
In a way, though, I kind of like that because I know what to expect to a certain degree. Because I do find that sometimes I'll wait so long to buy something. I'll be like, I'll just wait until it comes on sale. And then after a while, I'm just like, what was I waiting for again? I don't even remember.
At least like there's a good value to the game. So if you are going to wheel and deal, resale, you can get recoup your costs and move on to the next thing.
That's true.
What I keep forgetting about as a resource, as an asset, is the library. Because if you don't want to buy, there's a lot of games I wouldn't buy, but I'll play it for free. Like I've had Sushi Strikers now for like 2 weeks. I haven't even had a chance to play yet, but I've got Wolfenstein and Runner 3. I'm like next in line to get, so pretty soon I'll be able to play those. Nice. I think you have to be able. The main thing is you have to be patient, not only to like wait for people to move on, but like there's going to be a way for you to experience these games probably down the road. You're just not going to be able to play them when it's hotness. And I think what will help is really to plot out your gaming. Like you have to kind of look back and think. You have to plan ahead and say, okay, what games do I want to play? Like there's been a lot of stuff. If money was an object, there's probably a lot of indies and some games I would have purchased already. But the fact that I know that, like the past 2 games I've gotten recently were gifts, which I probably wouldn't have had them otherwise. But then I had to look out and say, hey, here is. I have Overcooked coming. I have a $25 gift card still that I haven't used. I've been sitting on. That's probably I'm going to use that on Overcooked 2. So I have Overcooked 2 and Octopath. I think that's plenty because I know I want to be able to play Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And really, so I'm sitting here. I've planned out these purchases. These are the games I want to experience, and I have to take anything else is going to be a wash. I have to look at the opportunity cost here and say, okay, these are the ones I want to play. Anything else, I can just push aside. Those aren't as important to me.
Right. And well, for me, like I actually, when it comes to console gaming, I'm not struggling too much with FOMO. But when I think about it, there is one case that I do kind of have FOMO with, and that's Humble Bundle to a certain degree, because there's almost always been at least one game that's in the bundle that has made me go, yeah, I'm going to keep this at least for that. For instance, the next unlock will be A Hat in Time, which I kind of suspected was going to end up. I like half jokingly, half expected it to. I'm like, that seems like a Humble Bundle game that will end up there eventually. But then here's the problem with this, though. So you usually end up with like 6 to 8 games for $12, and that's a really good deal. But
that's a good deal.
Last month, though, this was the breakdown. I got Portal Knights. Well, everyone got Portal Knights. Don't know what it is. Shyness. Don't know what it is. Forts. Tons of guns. Don't know what it is. Blackwake. Probably the most popular out of this, potentially. Didn't know what it was. Serial Cleaner, which I did know what it is, but it's like indie game that I don't think did super well. It was just okay. Something called Stumble Hill. Don't know what it is. Titan Quest, which I already owned, and that game's old now. And
that means I get it for free.
Yes, you can. And Hearts of Iron, I believe, was one of the like early unlocks for that month. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. So I'm always like, but if I give this up, then I'm not going to get A Hat in Time for $12. And then I get this other stuff for free. Well, I never end up playing those games. You know, I get the AAA or the big indie titles and those things I've never heard of. I'm always like, oh, that looks cool. I should give it a shot. Well, guess what? I never do. But I haven't canceled yet, and I was close one time because it was such a shit month. And then I saw what the early unlock was going to be.
Conan Exiles, though.
I know, with the dong sliders. I need those dong sliders. Slide those dongs into my DM, if you know what I'm saying.
Tom Servo, this isn't applicable to our conversation at all, but you've been on vacation, and I want to know your thoughts if you're still in chat. That Yooka-Laylee is coming to that crappy game. What is it? Fighting one, Brawl Out. Yeah. Yooka-Laylee is going to be in Brawl Out, so
oh my gosh,
I'm interested. Get excited for that, right? Sorry.
Oh no, I was So I mean, in conclusion, like that's probably my biggest FOMO right now, which is like if I cancel it, there's going to be some amazing deal that I'm going to
what are you going to miss out on and be disappointed that you can't pull the trigger and didn't wait it out.
Yeah, because I mean that's $12 a month I could be putting towards Switch games or something. So
I thought I'd have it with the Xbox. You know, that's the reason why I'd get that, to play some games on there that I thought I wouldn't want to miss out. And then there was never anything I wanted to think. Thank God Game Pass was a thing, because otherwise I would have paid $60 for Sea of Thieves, and that would have been a horrible decision. A horrible decision.
Oh gosh, remember pre-release when everyone just thought it was going to be a lot of fun?
It was a lot of fun. It's just sad because everyone else stopped playing it, so I wouldn't have been.
That's a perfect example.
Skinny Matt still plays it. Yeah,
everyone just gone.
Like I thought I'd be playing more Rocket League right now, honestly, than what I do. I don't play that ever.
Yeah, but that's because every time we try playing it, we get teamed up against people who are way better than us, and we go, "How the fuck are they doing these moves?"
Like most games.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't know
the three that I play all the time, so the only games I'm good at.
Which everyone else is like, how the fuck is he doing all these moves?
I think the last times I really felt it the most was probably back in the 360 days, you know, when like everyone would be playing like Modern Warfare or, you know, in Call of Duty games were coming out left or right, or then it was like, you know, you were forced to buy NHL, because otherwise if you didn't, you were missing out. And then like when the jump to the Xbox One happened, when 360 was done, that was like that whole limbo time when we were just like, well, that sucks.
It's over.
Everyone we played games with moved on to the new consoles.
Yeah,
and then it was just like
we were like the only ones who weren't. Yeah, we were the only ones that weren't moving on. It felt like, anyway.
Yeah, it sure did feel like it.
And that's a good point too, because during that time we had a pretty strong Xbox group, because we would always we would have the people that we played NHL with, and out of that group we had a few people who kind of mixed over into other games, along with the people from ET at that point, Enemy Territory. So they kind of all
don't talk to any of those people anymore.
Yeah, but you used to almost every day.
Yeah, I'll get a weird comment from Rendo on Facebook every once in a while, and I'm still friends with Patrick. You know, I talk to him on Facebook often enough. And then Glenn, Habs fan, he just went out to Vancouver, I think, to like get an early preview build. He's like in their whatever program, and he got like early access with the new version to give his opinions and feedback on the game.
Wow,
stuff like that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But I don't, you know, because we're segmented. We've moved on from that. So
yeah, it's funny how quickly it can dissolve from, like, as soon as that one unifying aspect goes away, it's just like, you know, you just fall by the wayside eventually, and everyone just kind of does their own thing. And that's why I think for me the biggest FOMO of them all is usually multiplayer games. In the past, at least when the MMORPG craze hit, it was like World of Warcraft, and then
Warcraft was raiding. Raiding was a lot of FOMO because I couldn't do any of that end game content, and it sucked to miss out on that. And
and then all the other, and then it was, for a while, it was like, well, we're gonna check this out, and it, like, you and I tried, and then it never kind of worked out. But there were also other ones where it felt like other people were jumping on board, and then again it just kind of went nowhere. So that kind of worked itself out. But with the multiplayer competitive games like shooters and stuff like that, I've always just kind of at this point just been like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna buy, like, I think of Overwatch. And I had that gifted to me, which I was very thankful for. But at the same time, I sucked at that game really hard. And so I like barely ever play it because it's not fun to play a game you suck at. And everyone's had so much time to get good at it, as it were, to get good, that it really pushes me in another direction, and that's single player games. And I think most people have probably noticed by now that I'm almost always talking about single player games, and I very rarely talk about multiplayer games. So for me, my FOMO strategy now is basically I ask myself some questions like, is it single player or is it multiplayer? Am I depending on other people to play this game, or do I want to play it by myself? Like, do I picture myself playing single player, or am I buying this for the multiplayer? Because that's just not a reliable thing anymore. We're at an age where we all have families and we can plan all we want, but at the end of the day, it usually doesn't work out. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it goes. And then, am I buying this because I want to buy it? Am I buying it because it's something I'm looking forward to? Or am I buying it because of the hype machine that usually is surrounded by being in a community such as, a Nintendo community or something like that, where everyone's like, yeah, Octopath Traveler, that's awesome. And I am interested in checking it out, but for me, that wasn't a day one purchase. And I think I realized that pretty quick. And I don't know why. I really don't. And I don't begrudge anyone for buying it either.
I think that's an okay game though to pass on not day one, because it's such a enthralling single player experience that you can experience in so many different ways. So I think, like, I haven't been talking to too many other people about it. I mean, I guess I haven't in Discord a little bit, but I mean, there's so much that you don't want to talk about.
It's more of like a generalized way of talking about it.
You don't want to spoil specific story beats for other people, and it's just like one of those things. And I like a point you brought up that I like to always do too is like, am I buying this game because I want to play it, or am I buying this because I want to play with other people? Like, how much of my experience is going to be dictated by me playing with someone else? Because usually now, I unfortunately I can't count on other people to make my gaming experience, because I don't have the time. Like let's go back and use Sea of Thieves for example. I'm not consistently able to play a game. I can't say, oh, we're gonna play at 9 o'clock. X number of nights. I can't.
You can say I'm usually on at 9, but I might not be.
I can't even say that, because I'm usually not. And that's because
I'm usually not on at 9.
That's because of my own doing, because I've chosen to do this content creation path where I do 3 podcasts a week. Well, that chews up a lot of my gaming time, and I'm just going to be inconsistent. I might be able to hop on one night, I might not be able to hop on for a week. So it's just, that's not a good investment for my money to do that.
Yeah, and you got to know that as a person. Like, you're the one who's responsible for knowing that you're not going to get to play with people.
Now, when it's a game like Overcooked, and it's, what is that, $25, $20, $30?
Yeah, 20, I think.
It's a much smaller purchase. Then that's a little easier pill to swallow. But I mean, yeah, you have to look at that, and I think that's a good point. You have to really weigh it. And why am I getting this? Do I need to have right now? I mean, and ultimately, I think if you are like that type of person that you want to be in that conversation, you want to miss it out. I think if you took a long, hard look and said, okay, what happens after the first 2 weeks of this game? Am I going to be,
Are we still going to be talking about this, or are we going to be talking about the next thing that comes out?
Sorry. You just have to weather that too. I think really, if you just got to hit that release window through like week 3, you can like push things aside from that point on. I think that's the key. It's those first couple weeks, and then that it's not even an issue anymore.
Yeah. I will say, before we wrap up a little bit, I will say that I think that I failed the test when it comes to Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart 8 or whatever, because I did buy that mostly because everyone was like, yeah, we should totally play that. Lucas has got a Switch. So I ran out and I bought it. Also because I wanted to play it single player. But
yeah,
kart racers have always been kind of tough because, I mean, well, at least that type of kart racer where you're just like, oh, I want to play with friends, because playing with the computer is just a freaking shitstorm of horribleness. And so, like you said, we've only played once since I bought it. And if I were to go back knowing what I know now, I probably would have bought Super Mario Odyssey instead, because I was looking more like, I'm still looking forward to playing that. So
you can borrow that game anytime you want.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forget about that. But I also kind of want to own it to a certain degree. Well, yeah, and we're also looking at the library path as well. So.
To be fair, though, I would think Mario Kart is, of all the games, I think that has the most likelihood of having many people
jump
back
on.
To.
Yes,
I
don't fully regret it.
And I think, unfortunately, right now it's the time of year it's in. Everyone's busy, or schedules are more full. But I think if
apparently everyone's going to Disney.
If we wanted to say, let's play Mario, if you really started beating the drum and say, hey, I want to play Mario Kart with so many people on X day, I think we could we could drum up people to play it.
And I think that's partially a weakness of the group that we have, is that nobody really is like, let's go do this right now. Come on, guys, let's all get together. Like, there's always got to be that one person who's kind of pulling everyone together. But more often than not, everyone's so busy that we're all just kind of like, well, if no one's going to bother me about playing this, I'm just going to go do, like, I'm going to play Octopath or whatever.
That's the problem right now. There's a lot of good games in different areas. So a lot of people are like, people playing Fortnite, people are playing Octopath, people are playing Breath of the Wild. There's a lot of great games in a lot of areas where people can still bounce around.
And that's always going to happen. And that's why FOMO is such a
until
problem.
December.
Yes.
Then it's all Smash Bros.
Yeah,
forever.
that is true. That's another one that you can always just pop in for a few minutes, do a couple rounds, and it'll probably be on the scene for a long time.
Lucas, you could be my training partner. You're gonna get good. You're just gonna play me.
I do want to play the game.
2 hours every night. Final destination, no items, 2 stocks, and you're gonna get good.
All right, I'll be Jigglypuff. How about that?
No resting.
Jigglypuff. So it sounds like to me, what?
Is it okay, Hungry Box?
I'm Snore Lucas. Everyone knows that.
Oh, that's right.
So it sounds like to me the first step is to basically think on it or sleep on it and find out.
Sleep on it's always a good
thing.
Don't be
buying
impulsive.
It? Yeah, why am I buying it? Don't be impulsive. Make sure you're buying it because it's the formulation, like you said, of plotting out your purchases through a quarter or half a year or whatever. And then once you have that down, you basically can go from there to, because then it's the resist, right? At that point, it's recognizing the community that you're in and knowing that it's okay that if you have a fear of missing out sometimes, because that's natural. That's just a normal thing that everybody gets, whether it's gaming or going to the movies. I mean, there's a reason why I think, like movies specifically, everyone always talks about the opening weekend. It's because people go to see a movie because they want to be a part of that conversation. Like you said, they're excited to go see it. And to me, I guess for me, it's that sustained recognition that's going to help you in the end, whether it comes to gaming or movies or anything. Like now I'm at a point where I just don't care. And it does push you a little bit out of the community, because after a while you get tired of either A, hearing about everyone buying stuff, or B, you're trying to avoid spoilers or anything that you know that you're going to eventually consume as content, and you're like, well, I can't talk to you now because you're playing a game that I wanna play, and so now we have nothing. Like, I'm not gonna pop into the Nintendo channel to find out the ending of Octopath Traveler on accident or whatever. Yeah. So it's like those 3 things basically. Planning, identifying, and maintaining, I would say, is a good strategy for most people. Would you agree?
Just pro tip.
Tip.
I do agree.
It's my hot take.
I think that's a great summary. I think that's a good summary of this conversation.
That's a great summary. I'm a great samurai, and you're a ninja.
I don't think we need to build upon it anymore. So that is the Fluxtaposed Guide to Surviving FOMO. Donnie, you should read it. No, Donnie will he'll admittedly say he suffered. That's why he has all 3 consoles. He's a wheeler, FOMO, and so he can buy.
He's a wheeler and dealer, though, so he can do that. He
flips and trades, and
he doesn't hoard. He's not a dragon.
No, he's really good at reselling and doing that. So there you go. That's our conversation on FOMO. Let's take an overclock remix break. Let's play some music from ocremix.org. Every week, for those uninitiated, we like to feature one of the brand new titles from the front page of OC Remix. And
certainly.
We randomly select one and we play it. We have a whole database. We have all the things. We have a playlist on YouTube if you want to hear it. Every remix we've ever featured. Every remix is in that playlist once I update it.
I'm going to see if this works now. I think I changed the audio so this will come through. Yay! You're going to hear yourself for a second.
The randomizer!
Okay, cool. Please. Well, this is going to be easy because, Jason, it's number 3. I had to use my list voice. Coming in at number 3. Yeah.
At first I thought you were going to say it was Bloodborne. I was like, ugh.
Oh no, it's going to be dark operatic music. No.
Bloodborne and Castlevania. I do not like. Yes, our remix this week comes from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's called Windborne. Our remixer is Rozovian. Oh gosh, where is Breath of the Wild from? Well, if you haven't heard, it was released by Nintendo on the Switch 2017, and of course the Wii U as well. It's kind of a good game. Kind of good. We have 4 songs. 4 songs, the field theme from the daytime, the main theme of the game, the recovered memory, and Rito Village. Ooh, I like the Rito Village theme. Also, it has Link to the Past, the Dark World theme, and Wind Waker's The Legendary Hero.
Will there be the one that goes
that is from Ocarina of Time.
It's the only good Zelda.
It's EDM, so that should be interesting.
Of course it is.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to play this remix. As always, you can find this remix and many more at ocremix.org. Stick around. We're going to do some What You Playing, and we'll get through that grab bag, I hope, this week.
I need you to stretch for a few seconds.
I'm told we're not quite ready. We're not quite ready for this because, unfortunately, due to how we have to play this, it requires us to sometimes download the remix and then upload it and all these things. And there's all these moving parts. So let's get a little taste of the community grab bag right now.
Coming up on the community grab bag.
No, I'm not going to do that because that would be too revealing. So, boy, I'm going to miss you guys when I go on vacation. Oh, never mind. There you go. I don't have to stretch anymore. Okay. We're going to play this remix.
The sound of the disdain. You were just like so excited to talk about that. Oh, never mind.
All right, we're playing this remix. Stay tuned. We'll be back for more Fluxtaposed. Goodbye. Until then, don't leave. Please stay. was OC Remix. It's a good time. Dude 427, he's still here. He's a champ. What about now is when Sean Capri usually randomly shows up for about 2 minutes in the stream and says, "Hey guys," and then he goes again.
He likes to be seen.
It's kind of like that Homer Simpson gif where he kind of comes out and goes back into the bushes. You know?
It's true.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Lucas, I have a proposition for you because we had a good conversation, so we're already pretty good content wise. I'm kind of going to do lightning round a little bit of what you're playing because I don't want to shortchange the community grab bag again.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a lot of repeats and I don't have much to say about my other stuff. So
awesome. All right, well let's do it. Wait, this is what you're playing.
Yes. That's Act Clear from Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and we're gonna act clear this. What you playing?
Who needs a soundboard? We can do all our own sound.
My mouth's a soundboard, if you know what I'm
sure it's not. I'm sure it's not annoying for people. I've been playing Octopath Traveler, of course. I think I mentioned to you at pre-show. I think I'm just about to hit the 20-hour mark, and I haven't even done. I've only completed Chapter 1 content. Started my first character's Chapter 2 story. I've just been doing side quests. This is the game I've wanted. This is the RPG experience I wanted. I love the battle system. I just like the game. You know, and I'm glad there's a lot of people out there that like it. Yeah. So it's just fun to play. What can I say? I don't want to. This is lightning round. I can't.
You can't say nothing.
I'll be talking about this game for like 20 more episodes. Don't worry about it. And then, I'm tempted to play this a little bit after the show, Lucas. You should too. It's a game. I was streaming Icons, and then Dave RoboPig, who we haven't talked to in forever, came on and was hanging out.
Oh yeah, you showed me this.
He's like, you should play this game, Iron Sight. It's free to play COD. I was like, I haven't played COD. He's like, Call of Duty before it got crappy, like before they added all the kill streak stuff and all the nonsense. I was like, okay. So I downloaded it. It's called Iron Sight, and it's legit. It's complete ripoff of like Modern Warfare. It is total like that COD experience. My only gripe with it, it does. I don't know if it's pay to win. I feel like the sniper rifles are a bit overpowered. I felt like I was getting shot through walls sometimes, because it was like one hit kill every time. But my biggest gripe is to do the aim down the sights. It's right click, obviously, on the mouse and keyboard, but it's not. I prefer to have it toggle. So when I'm holding, not toggle, like hold. So if I'm holding down right click, I aim down the sights. As soon as I let go right click, I stop.
Yes.
This is click and a toggle, so you have to click it again to bring it back. And I just don't like that. It just doesn't feel smooth to me. I don't like having to click and click again.
Have you checked to see if you can change it?
I cannot find it in the settings anywhere.
Ugh.
I think it's still kind of like in early stages of the game, but it was fun to play an arcadey more shooter like that again, you know?
Yeah.
There's like one I saw on Steam. It was some World War II themed game, and it kind of looked like old school Call of Duty, like COD 1 style game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because I saw, the only reason I can't think of the name, the only reason I saw the game is because there was an article about how the developers like listened to all this feedback and pushed out this huge patch that changed everything the community said was terrible about the game. Because if you look it up on Steam, it has like overwhelmingly negative reviews.
Ooh.
So that makes me really not want to spend the money to play it. But it looks like old school, like Call of Duty, like World War II Call of Duty, which I always have liked.
Nice.
Gosh, I'm glad I'm playing New Territory games again. So yeah, that's what I'm playing. Octopath and Iron Sight. Hopefully I'll have some time for Sushi Strike this week. We've watched a couple of shows on ends. Nothing to write home about.
Okay. For me, I've been playing more Mafia 3. Boy, this game is super repetitive. I'll tell you one thing. I'm 24 hours in. I feel like I've been playing this for like 6 months now. It's
like a job.
I'm kind of just trying to get through it. I do that a lot, but I'm already this far, so I feel like I should just finish it. I think 30 hours is about most people's completion time, maybe a little sooner, maybe it just depends. The thing I was going to say though is I've realized it doesn't do a very good job of telling you what's going on in the interface. especially when it comes to like what missions are optional and which ones are story missions, you really have to pay attention because it kind of feels like everything's either just as important as anything else or, for instance, I don't even know when I was able to, because you take over these districts, and every time you take over something like I told you about bootlegging or carjacking, every time you take over something like that, you're allowed to give it to one of 3 people that are in your little mafia, I guess, for lack of a better word, your little gang. And I don't even know when it allowed me to start choosing between the 3 people. Because before that, I was just like, what am I looking at? Sure, I don't know what any of this stuff means. Assign to whoever, whatever. And then I realized, I can scroll through and give it to any one of the 3 people. So stuff like that, I've just been like, when did this happen? Nothing has told me when this was available and when it unlocked or whatever. So just stuff like that, I've really kind of realized I didn't realize what was going on. And now that I kind of understand that basically the whole game consists of, kill the people who are in charge of these jobs, take them over, then get the guy who's in charge of that district, I've realized, okay, this is my path to the end of the game. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. BoJack Horseman, I completed season 2. Man, this got good. It's a 20-minute show, 22-minute show, so it's really easy to fit in a few. It grows on you. I don't think I really liked it until about halfway into the first season, which is pretty far for a show. But when it's 22 minutes, it's an easier pill to swallow, I think. Because on the surface, it kind of seems dumb, I think, at first. But then you realize there's depth to these characters, and the comedy kind of starts hitting a little bit better.
Okay.
Once you know the characters and stuff. It gets
I keep wanting to watch Adventure Time, but I haven't. I don't remember where I stopped. So I'm kind of starting season 2 over from the beginning, and it's like
the ones that don't have like a thread going through the whole story.
Yeah,
or through every
tough.
season.
They all blend together.
Yeah, it makes me hard. It makes it hard. Makes it hard for me to watch them.
Animated shows, did you see that? I didn't get to really watch it, but they released the trailer for the new show Disenchanted coming to Netflix. It's a new show from Matt Groening.
Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer.
Is it Groening? Not Groening, it's Groening, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's how you pronounce it. But the Simpsons guy, basically.
Yeah, basically. You'll know by looking at the art that it was the Simpsons guy / Futurama / that's everything, I think, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure I'll like that one. So yeah, it gets a little bit darker in season 2. Things get really real all of a sudden. It goes from kind of like lighthearted narcissism to some serious like life-changing issues going on, which I did not expect from this show. So, but I'm enjoying it. I started watching Mindhunter. The biggest reason why is because I kind of already know what happens to a certain degree, but this show is you're gonna scoff at this, but it's 4K, but also Dolby Vision enabled. And there's not very much stuff that I don't have to pay for that I can view in that way. So I'm kind of like, let's watch a show and see if I can really tell a difference. And when it comes to 4K, especially the resolution, I'd never noticed a difference until I saw it in person at home and then went back to 1080p upstairs. So then I kind of started to appreciate it a little bit more. Mindhunter is a really good show. It's a little bit creepy, a little bit. It's about 2 FBI agents that are kind of starting to understand the idea of serial killers and people who have more than
going
just
back to like profiling, actually. Like,
yeah, I think it's
the
early 60s.
Yeah,
mid-60s.
we started it and then we just stopped for whatever reason. I think we're gonna go back to it. I think we got through like the first 2 episodes.
It can be kind of heavy a little bit, so I've noticed. I have to be in the right. I enjoy it when I'm in the right frame of mind.
Who stars in that? I don't know the one guy, but like the older detective, isn't that? I feel like I should know. I feel like one of them was recognizable.
Holt McCallany. McCallany, and then Jonathan Groff. I feel like I've heard I feel like I've heard Holt McCallany's voice before in things. I almost feel like he's been a voice actor, but I'm not seeing that. But what I can tell you is he's known for Fight Club. Apparently, he was in that. Vantage Point, The Losers. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that. Oh, apparently he was in Justice League as a burglar and uncredited.
Oh yeah, Holt McCallany I've seen before as like yeah. I remember him in Fight Club. Yep. I've seen him he was the guy that at least I'd seen his face before. You know, he was recognizable as a person, but I can't like none of any of his body of work like stands out to me.
Okay. Yeah, nobody I've seen in this I've even recognized, really. So, but you know, whatever, I suppose. And then lastly, I'm enjoying Mindhunter enough. I just have to be in the right mood, I suppose.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then lastly, I decided to watch Isle of Dogs just because I wanted something kind of bright and cheery and charming to a certain degree. And, you know, a Wes Anderson flick, how can you go wrong? And that's usually going to be the case with him. And this was no different. It's a fun little movie. Not necessarily for children, at least not under 12. I definitely enjoyed the art style and everything because it is bright. It's that claymation-esque feel to everything, and you get I'll never forget your explanation of his movies where you were like, I just feel like characters are like full frame their face is just full frame in the middle of the camera frame, and then they say something or whisper something, and then they just run into the distance for some reason. Yes. And
it shows them run all the way.
Yeah, all the way for like a minute. And that's basically what you're going to get here to a certain degree. Definitely those shots. I found his shots almost always look like dioramas. I feel like there's always like three layers. Yes. There's the front layer, there's the middle layer, and then something in the background happening. So I'd recommend this one. I'd probably give it like an 80% or something like that. It's not mind-blowing, but there's enough there that the story's familiar, but what actually happens and the way it happens and the cutesy little humor really kind of carries it along and makes it worth watching, in my opinion. So Isle of Dogs, I feel like it just kind of came and went and nobody really talked about it, but it's worth watching.
That's a fair assumption. You know, I was looking up names as you brought stuff up, and I came across Lee Pace, and I was like, oh, I want to watch *Halt and Catch Fire* all over again.
Oh gosh, I like Lee Pace. There's
apparently Ronan's going to be in Captain Marvel apparently because he's got a credit for that.
Really? Huh? I would never have guessed. There's a lot of people in this movie that I was just like, oh, I kind of recognize that voice, but Bryan Cranston being kind of the main one, and then Edward Norton is kind of hard to miss. But Bill Murray,
he's like how many films has Edward Norton been in
of his? Yeah, well, and that's the thing. You've got Edward Norton, Bill Murray. I don't think Jeff Goldblum has been.
I don't think so
in any of his movies, but Frances McDormand is in here too.
What about Wow?
No, he's too busy being Lightning McQueen. For Disney. Ka-chow! Wow. So yeah, Isle of Dogs. Watch it or don't. I don't care. Fight me.
Not to be confused with I Love Dogs or Must Love Dogs.
Or Snow Dogs. I knew there was another. There had to have been another one.
Well, there you go. Shall we do the grab bag?
Yes.
Wrap this baby up?
Grab that bag, baby.
Grab it. Well, don't worry, gang, because Dan Anthony is at it again, telling us that the Florida Man is at it again. This comes from WSVN News 7 Miami. Dan, again, how do you find this stuff? You got to share your secrets with me. How do you find? Where does he get these fabulous toys? This is your headline: Miami man with no arms charged with stabbing Chicago tourist. This is from July 11th, 2018. A homeless Florida man with no arms has been charged with stabbing a Chicago tourist. Miami Beach police say 46-year-old Jonathan Crenshaw held a pair of scissors with his feet and stabbed 22-year-old Cesar Coronado. Cesar Coronado. Just after midnight Tuesday. The Miami Herald reports that Crenshaw is a popular fixture in the area, known for painting on canvases along a trendy spot in South Beach. Crenshaw says he was lying down when Coronado approached him and kicked him in the head. Police say Crenshaw stabbed Coronado twice and fled the scene.
Damn, twice? This guy's stabbing with his feet, and you let him stab you twice with his feet. Also,
he stabbed you twice, and he had time to drop the scissors and then run.
Yeah, and my question is, does he sleep with his scissors at his feet? Is that what's happening here? Because I guess it was a good idea. In case you get kicked in the head.
Everything happens in Florida, man.
It's true. Man.
Florida. Keep it up, Dan. Man. We love it. Kevin Austin, my submission for the bag of community grabbing. Have you ever had what you would consider to be a paranormal experience of any kind? Do tell. True story. The day that we recorded last week, when we should have answered this that night, okay, I stayed up way too late because I was playing those games afterwards because I played the Call of Duty ripoff until like 1 o'clock that night.
Oh God!
I went to bed, and then I like woke up randomly at like 3 a.m.
And it was witching like hour.
Yeah, and it's like one of those moments where you're tired, but I was awake, and I was like laying there trying to go back to sleep, and I heard like a conversation like clear as day, like two male voices, to the point where I was like,
ooh, you're giving me goosebumps, chills.
But it was like I was laying there, and for a while, and I was like, huh, I hear people talking, and then it was like, wait, I shouldn't hear people talking right now, and I was like, to the point where I got up and got out of bed, like stumbled into the living room, and I thought it looked like I could see a figure sitting in Jessica's chair, and I'm like, oh, that's just a shadow. But then it was like, okay, I'm going back to bed now. But it was just weird. It was really weird. And we always routinely have in this house, whenever we have an oven, but we don't have a stovetop. We have an actual like a little cooktop, like electrical cooktop range that's separate on top of another surface. And we have a hood vent over top of it. Now it could vent all the way out of the house, but when we replaced it, I just got one of the ones that just cycles the air into the kitchen, which sucks. Don't do that. But for whatever reason, okay, so that has a touch button for fan and lights. We can be home all the time. Those aren't on. They'll never come on. But if we go away for like a weekend and come back, the fan or the light will be on.
What?
On that. Now, I did look it up, and it says it's like a defect with the model, but why doesn't it ever happen when we're home? Why does it only happen when we're out of the house?
Because someone is living in your house when you're gone.
Oh my God. They're from upstairs. It's the person upstairs. The people under the floor.
Ooh. That only applies when you're in the basement, though, because you don't have a second floor.
So those are my quasi-paranormal experiences. I haven't had like anything like beyond that.
Too crazy. Like, have you ever heard of the people who pick up like conversations or weird voices on their sleeping apps? Like they'll record themselves for snoring and stuff like that, and they'll go back and listen to them, and they'll hear like weird voices and stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah, just go on YouTube and look that up for a while. Like specifically when it's about midnight and you're about to go to bed, and then you'll never sleep. So
and then read scary stories to tell in the dark. Yeah, and just look at the pictures.
Yeah, creepy pastas. I think the only thing that I can, this one's not even really that scary.
The creepy pastas, the goat people thing. Oh God, that one's messed up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I haven't read that, or I haven't heard that one. When Tyler and I used to hang out back when you and I lived together, we decided we were going to try to go ghost hunting. You may remember this. We came back. So we went out to Rockford, and we were in this this supposed area where this guy had drowned children near this like little dam or something, or footbridge or something. I don't know, something stupid. So we go out there.
Hardy Dam or whatever. Or?
Yeah, I think not the big dam. This was like out farther in, not like Rockford proper. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but there was a river there, and we went out there at about midnight or 11 o'clock, and we filmed the whole way, and we went out to where that little river thing was, but we could hardly see. And we stood there for a while, and then we came back, and I was going through the footage, which of course includes the audio, and it picked up the sound of, it sounded almost like a horse whinnying or something like that, or like a horse noise. And we were like, huh, that's really weird. I don't remember hearing that when we were there. And so I looked it up, and there was no horse stable or farm or anything around that area. So either there was a sound. I
remember that.
Yeah. So there was a sound that either sounded like that, or I heard a ghost. I don't know.
This is the sound of silence.
But that was beautiful. But what's really weird is that it was clearly audible. Like, I didn't have to go searching for it. I just heard it normally through the audio, but not remembering ever hearing that while we were there is kind of one of those things where you're just like, how did I not hear that? Because we were being quiet. So I don't know. Creepy. I'm sure there's other little things, but like you said, you see people that aren't really there or something like that. There's always, I think, that stuff.
One of the creepiest things to me, and I don't think it's really paranormal, it's more like like extraterrestrial in nature, is the whole concept of lost time.
Oh gosh,
that's like terrifying. Like, you know, like I read that one episode of Lore podcast that it was dealt with. It was like an alien abduction story from like the 50s, I think, and like this couple like had this, like, didn't quite remember everything as it happened, but then all of a sudden they were back in their car, don't even just remember driving, and they got to their destination, and then they go inside, and it was like 8 hours later. You know, they're like there's like this significant amount of time that they lost and had no recollection of it, and then eventually the memories came too. But that's just like, oh god, terrifying.
Especially when it happens to two people.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And then like their watches weren't working. His pocket watch wasn't working. His shoes were all scuffed up. And there's a lot of, I'll have to look at it. Send it to you.
There was blood on his hands.
There's blood on his hands, a murder on his mind.
Sounds like a Judas Priest song. All right, what else we got here?
Our last item for the evening comes from Mr. Skinny Matt. He sent this to us on Discord. You can come hang out with us on the Fluxtaposed Discord. Just go to fluxtaposed.com. There's a big button down there. It says, hey, join us on Discord. I'll send you an invite link, and you'll be here.
We're all cool. We're cool there.
We're all cool. Mailbag question. Generally, when a game or movie has a review embargo that lifts the day before a release, they aren't any good. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Square Enix lifted the review embargo for Octopath Traveler the day before its release. Considering the fact that the embargo was lighted so close to release, I think it means lifted so close to release, and they did not produce enough physical copies of the game, the publisher obviously did not expect the game to sell as well as it has, even though they put out 2 different demos. Do you think the unexpected success is partly due to the fact that Square Enix set the bar way too low, because they actually put in minimal effort for the development of Octopath Traveler? Let's be honest, the name of the game is pretty lazy and not appealing. And
I did always think that was a really...
Yeah, and he linked an article from IGN saying Square Enix issues apology for underestimating demand of Octopath Traveler. I'll just read that because it's just a paragraph. The day after, even Square Enix didn't know what it had with Octopath Traveler. The day after the developer released the throwback JRPG, Square Enix social team for Octopath Traveler issued an apology on Twitter for not making enough physical copies to satisfy demand. We are sorry that some of the shops are out of stock. The apology read, you can also consider the downloadable version. Octopath Traveler was released during the National Marine Day holiday in Japan, with many players unable to snag it there for the 3-day weekend. Physical copies of Octopath Traveler are also sold out on Amazon in the U.S. So, to make note of here, this I think predominantly is related to Japan. I'm not sure if physical copies were sold out as much here in North America or not. I'm not sure about that.
I'm reading another article from yesterday that says the game actually ended up shifting 90% of its initial shipment in Japan.
Wow.
And we're hopeful that players will be able to get their hands on a copy soon.
I mean, I think I can agree they didn't know what they had on their hands. I don't think a demo is a really good measuring stick.
Well, I downloaded a demo. I didn't buy the game.
Yeah. So I just think I think a free demo is that doesn't equate to sales, or it's not going to give you a forecast well at all. I don't really think the review embargo has anything to do with it either. I think people are a lot being more. I feel like that's now become a trend because a lot of publishers and studios are becoming more frustrated with reviews and damaging sales. So now let's wait until even the day of, to release those embargoes. I think that's a trend we're seeing more and more.
Which, not to go too deep into it, but that doesn't bother me because, like I said, we're rarely buying anything day of anyways. And if we do, we're like, well, consequences be damned. You can usually tell how things are going nowadays just by the coverage that's getting, like, Octopath Traveler got a lot of coverage regardless of like reviews or anything like that. So,
and I hate to like pick out chunks here and grind on them, Matt, but like, you comment about minimal effort for the development. I don't agree with that statement because they released that first demo and then you had a chance to provide your feedback, and they took the development team took all that community feedback they got from that demo and used that to make the game better. I don't think this game was minimally developed. I think it was a smaller team involved. I think it was a bulk of this team came from the Bravely Default series. I'm not sure how big the staff was on this, but I think this game was I don't think it was put in a lazy effort for development. I think it was developed really well. I think the systems and the game, I think all of that was done nicely. I will agree the name is kind of what it is. I mean, because that was always Octopath Traveler, or it was Project Octopath Traveler working title.
Yeah,
and then
they were like,
I mean,
let's just go with it.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense, but yeah, I don't know what else they would have called it.
Well, it's literally 8 paths to travel. It's like, well, that's the game.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you can do really forecast for sales, and I guess it's unfortunate that something like that the demand couldn't been met, because this game did sell well, and it probably could have sold extremely better if they had the physical copies there for retail, because a lot of people don't want. I mean, you can always say, oh, you can just get the digital, but a lot of people want that physical item. Like, I kind of want.
Especially
I want
since
Smash
there's
Brothers.
No decrease in price.
Yeah, I want Smash Brothers digitally because I want it to always be accessible and always be able to play it. But at the same time, it's like one of my favorite series, so I want that little cart too. I don't know why, because they just sit in the carrying case and the cases go up on this little shelf behind me.
But it's the thought process behind it too, that you actually bought something physical as opposed to, it makes it feel more like it's worth $60 because that's what we're used to. We've been doing that as gamers since we first started gaming.
And I think I think they must have done. I get whatever way Square Enix did like something that they did fail at some point in their forecasting or their marketing, or some part of their studio did fail where they just, because I think they do self-publish as well. They failed where they let that part down. But I think sometimes it's just you don't know when you're gonna have lightning in a bottle. I don't think they knew that this game was gonna be as popular as it was. I mean, obviously they hoped. Every time you release a game, you hoped, but I think it's the power of the Switch, honestly. I mean, look at what Crash Bandicoot has done. I don't think we knew how well that was going to sell, and that game came out huge. Like I've read like let me look right now too. Like if I go on the eShop right now,
Dude 427 says Octopath is for each of the characters' names.
Yeah,
that blew my mind. I'm like, wait a minute.
I saw somebody post that too, and I was like, what? And so you have to wonder. It's like, okay, they came with Octopath, and then they're like, oh, let's just name a character. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
So if we go on the best sellers list right now, I'm on the eShop best sellers. Octopath is still #1 bestseller on the eShop.
So some people are buying it,
and that's the first time like Minecraft has been up there forever. Right now, Enter the Gungeon is in #2, but that's also
that was on sale recently, I think.
Yeah, it's 50% off right now. So your top 5 is Octopath, Enter the Gungeon, Minecraft, Hollow Knight, and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I mean, for the longest time, Minecraft has been up there, and then till like Stardew Valley was up there. Mario Kart 8's in the top 10, but I mean, I think that shows right there that just the popularity of this game. I mean, people wanted something like this. You know, I've wanted an RPG like this. I think people, this game is a unique experience where it's like it's new but old at the same time. You know, it's like that Super NES era RPG, and
but it's also not RPG Maker, where it's just
right.
It's everything looks old because nostalgia. It's like, well, we combine both looks so that you get kind of a physics engine, or not a physics engine, but a particle engine that looks realistic. But so it kind of all comes together. They actually tried to make something unique as opposed to just cashing in on nostalgia.
And it's not like that old RPG where you have this world and you got to travel the map and all this. It does feel like you're just a series of branching paths that you go down, and it feels kind of linear. But
would you say it's open Octopath? Up a little bit?
Yeah. So
did you travel the Octopath?
I don't think the review embargo. I think that, to go back to it, I don't think that is enough to. I don't think I just throw that factor out. I think this is an edition where Square Enix failed on their part to properly forecast a game, and I think people are still a little bit hesitant when it comes to the Switch and its success and what's going to happen. And there's been those studios now that have bought in and they're all in and they just go. And there's still like your EAs out there that are like, well, we're going to be a hold back and test the water and make sure we don't want to overcommit. And that's what happens. But I don't think that they set the bar too low. I think they just had a failure at one point, and I don't think it was minimal effort in development. I think this game was pretty well developed.
Well, I'm sure that they would have loved to be able to sell all of those copies on opening weekend. I can't really think of a game designer who's like, because my first thought was, well, maybe they like withheld it to garner some kind of hype, but if they already have enough hype, why wouldn't they just want to sell their game? You know what I mean? That it's one thing for like Amiibo or an actual hardware, because you typically, that's kind of a longer game to play there. Whereas almost like movies, you want your opening weekend to be really high. So like you said, I almost think it's just a mistake. I don't think that the review embargo would matter. They wouldn't even have had enough time to up production or anything anyways. So I don't think that would have mattered too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really. It's kind of surprising in this day and age, though. You don't really see that often. Usually they're pretty good about having enough copies for most areas, but Japan was hit pretty hard with this, I guess. And it also, they said something about having a holiday that weekend too. Yeah. So that probably, but I was wondering that, because I'm curious to see how this stacks up against something like Super Mario Odyssey or something like that, where
87 reviews, Open Critic, let's see, it has a meta score of 85, which has it placed at mighty. It's ranked in the top 6.2% of games scored on the platform, which is good.
Wow.
43 scored reviews. The thing is, though, it's like, how do you review a game like this? Because they only got the game like maybe a week in advance.
Yeah, where they just playing
maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Sleeping.
Like how do you get through something that's this huge? Like how do you do that? And then last time I grabbed was Octopath Traveler's launch sales in the UK were nearly double that of Bravely Default. I don't know. That's a horrible headline, because of course I would think it's going to sell more than a 3DS, but I guess 3DS did have a large install base.
And now they have when you have a frame of reference like Bravely Default that already kind of exceeded expectations, I think, for them, and then to go to this and just kind of assume, well, it's going to be like our first game where nobody knew it was going to be good. But I don't know. It is kind of weird, though. Nowadays, I feel like you have a better way of measuring that beforehand, but I also can't blame them for not wanting to sit on unsold copies of the game if things didn't go well. So I don't know.
Yep. Oh, well, all in all, it's a great thing to be reporting. I'm glad it's had success, and I hope we see more RPGs from Square Enix, especially in the old school realm.
Yeah,
beyond what we're seeing from Tokyo RPG Factory.
Now we'll get bunch of copycats. It's gonna be the only thing.
Grandia coming to the Switch. Wild Arms coming to the Switch.
I like it. I like where you're going. I will buy none of those. I'll probably get Octopath eventually, but eventually is the key word.
Eventually. Matt, Dan, Kevin, thank you for your suggestions. Sorry we couldn't get to them last week, but we did this week. So there you go. Lucas, it's time, man. We made it to the episode.
We did.
I'm sorry I won't be able to join you next week, but I'm looking forward to what you
I told you, when the cats are away. Wait, when the cat is away, the mice will play, and you're the cat.
So that means Kevin Austin or Sean Caprice coming on the show.
I did invite Kevin, but that only came about because somebody had happened to say, why hasn't Kevin been on lately or something like that, and I was like, well, did
Kevin say that?
No, surprisingly. That's because he doesn't talk in our channel unless he's been tagged first. So.
Ooh, true. Well, speaking of Kevin, funny enough, we want to say thank you to Kevin because he is the newest member of the Fluxtaposed Patreon family.
Wow.
Thank you.
I need to get that soundbite. Good Lord.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Kevin Austin. So check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed for all your...
You can throw money at us.
Yeah. Lucas will dance. So with that, we want to say thank you to all of our patrons. Special thanks to our Arbiters of Awesomeness, Kevin Austin, Kyle Heyman, Edwin Callow, Tyler Rowland, and Tom Servo. Welcome back from vacation, Tom. I'm glad you survived Florida. And to our Executors of Excellence, Josh Barbone and Dan Anthony and Siri Renee. Thank you all for your support. We're happy to have you there. I'll miss you all next week. Lucas.
Yeah.
Do me proud. Make me proud, son.
All impressions. I'm finally going to debut my idea of the Wheel of Impressions coming next week.
Is that going to be like the late night comedy thing where they give you a random actor and then a random scenario and you have to do the voice?
Yes, and I'm also just stealing everything from Jimmy Fallon's late night TV show. Basically, we're going to have rap battles and lip syncs and all sorts of things. It's going to be great.
Awesome. I can't wait.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait. All right. Okay. Bye. Okay. Bye. Bye. Yep. Bye-bye.